Guys, my name is Michael and welcome to a new GTK Expander tutorial. Today in today's video we are going to make another approach about the way how you create your expander. And when I'm talking about how you create expander, I'm talking in this moment about the label which you are using together with the expander. Until now we saw that we can create expander with new and expander new with mnemonic, and based on those two choose we had opportunity to call the GTK set label or set use underline, and we were kind of playing with those. But there is also a third way which I'm going to introduce you right now, and this one it is called GTK Expander Set Label Widget. Set the label widget to the expander. This is the widget that will appear embedded alongside the expander arrow. Okay, so basically it's the GTK Expander and the new label widget. Let me show you how it looks like. Now, as you can see, I remove everything from the code before. I have only the expander, which I'm going to call it right now. So I'm going to say expander, and I'm going to point it, of course, to the GTK Expander new. And this time I'm going to pass null, no information inside. I'm not interested about some information. Of course, GTK grid attach, I remove it, I should let it there, whatever. So I'm going to type it again, and now we need a child, the expander, and of course 0 left, 0 top, 1 with 1a. And now at this point, when I'm going to compile it and run it, you will see only the expander, which means it's arrow and nothing more, because we have no text, we have no label. Now is the important part, which I want you to that you understand it. And this means I want to introduce the GTK Expander Set Label widget. And for this to can make it work, we need a label. As you can see right here, it says we need a label. Okay, there is another function also which says GTK Expander set use markup. So this function basically says sets whatever the text of the label contains, markup in Pango's text language, C label set markup. So basically, yes, I'm going to call this function, and I'm going to apply it on our expander right here, GTK Expander. And I'm going to say true. Now, because we've called this function, we need to call the other function as well, GTK Expander Set Label Widget, which I'm going to do it right here. And I'm going to say label. So this label is the label which we are going to create it. For this, we need, of course, to create a label, GTK widget label, and of course GTK label new label new. And now here we're going to give a text, which I'm going to create it as well, whatever I'm going to do. I'm going to create the text right now, const and I'm going to say label text, wherever. It's your decision which name you give for this one. And of course I'm going to say with underscore n or expand. I'm going to call it expand. Now when we create this label with label text, this one which we do have right now, if I compile it and run it the way it is, just passing the label, you see we have it here, and also came something like tooltip text. Now how we end the story by using the GTK set label widget. If we go back to its function where it says GTK set label widget, and we check the GTK set use markup right here, it told us that we should check the GTK label set markup. Okay, so we are going to do the same thing, which means we need to call this function. And you should already be familiar with this one. If not, you should go to GTK label playlist, which I already have it. And I'm going to call this one right here. And as you can see, it says it needs two arguments. The first one is the label, and the second one is a string. So the label will be, of course, our label. And the string, which basically we are going to pass to this one, it will be a markup string. So basically I'm going to say markup. Now let us create this markup. We do have here an example. They show you an example how you create a markup. We're not going to talk about this, not a case right now. Like I said, you should follow my GTK label tutorial playlist. Sorry. Instead, I'm going to say gchar mark. We need a pointer. And I'm going to point it, of course, to the g markup printf escape. And here in this function, I'm going to say format. We need a format, and of course we need a label with label text, which we created right here. This one. Now the text, we have it. We need to create the format, because this is very important. If we don't create the format, then the story, it's not important for us. So for this, I'm going to say again const gchar format, and I'm going to create it, and I'm going to say we are going to do the span and style, which will be wherever, italic, for example. If you want to, you can do wherever you want to, nobody stop you. So I'm going to say italic, and then yes, of course we can do a color as well if we want to. This is your decision, color, and then let's say red. And now we can close basically the span, because we are %s, because we need a specifier to can pass this information, and of course we can close the span. It's a little bit strange, but it is there and it works fine. Okay, let me check it to be sure. The span tag, I close it right. The span, I create it, I open it right. Now I have the style, the italic, and then the color, which is red, and the span. Okay, now because we have the span, what do we need here? We will get a italic font style, and of course the color should be red. Because we have this kind of format, we are passing basically to the g markup printf escape, and then with the help of the text and with the help of the format, this function will return us a nice text in red with italic style, and this one is what we are going to send it for our markup. Let's see what happens. Okay, we have a problem, because because we need a GTK label and not the label, of course. GTK label. And now, as you can see, we have our nice text, which is in red, and of course we have the expand with the underscore. And because the underscore is there, which means we need to, if we need the underline to use, then of course, if you remember from the last video, we need to call the GTK label, the GTK expander set underline, set use under this one. So once that I call this, function, and I'm past the first one will be the GTK expander, and the second one will be the setting, which will be true. Now we have a nice red markup text on our label with which expands once that you press the Alt, as you can see, and now works fine. Watch the arrow. You see it's working fine. So basically this is the things which you need to do. After you're done with it, you need of course to free your markup. This is very important, because once that you call this function, this property function expects to be freed, and then when you're freed, you are fine. Now of course things which you can apply on it, that's your decision, or functions from the GTK label. For example, if you say GTK label set width, I think, yeah, chars. Now you can say GTK label, and you pass the label, and at this point you are going to receive much more. Let's say 50 chars. Because I said 50 chars, our window will be big enough to fit those 50 chars. You see how big it is now. Of course, other functions like GTK label set x ling, you can do the same thing. GTK label, and let's say we have the float link from, you already know, you should know. If not, like I said, you should go back to the GTK label playlist. We have between 0 and 1, 0.0 and 1.0. So this means now I'm going to say 0 or something like this. I don't know. Anyway, 0 is left, 0.5 I think is middle, and 1 is right, if I'm not wrong. I will check in a second with you. Yes, you see now we have it on the left side. This is right here, but the window is still bigger. Yes, but this happens because I said I needed at least 50. And of course, if I said now 1, which probably will get in segmentation fault because we need a float or a double, it's worked fine. Okay, cool. So, which means 0.5. It will be in the middle. Yes, works fine. I don't believe that it's working fine if we try to use the G object set. Man. Let's say we have our label. X ling. And of course, what happens now if I choose to put 1? I'm curious about it, if it works. Okay, we need a label, not a label. Okay. Yes, like I said, we get a segmentation fault. So I'm still wondering myself why is working one and one another one. Maybe because it's a C style, maybe because the C let you. I think it is about implicit conversion. Yes, it should be. This is the reason why you get no segmentation fault when you call this one, because it will probably promote from the integer to the double, and this is the reason why you don't get here a segmentation fault. But remember, always when you work with G object set, you will definitely get segmentation fault if you just use 1 instead of 1.0. You see, now I'm using 1.0, which is a double, and works fine, and we get no segmentation. Maybe if I cast it to G double, will work fine. Yes, it should work now, because now 1 is a G double and should work fine. Yes, it's true, but you need to do something. Whether you work with G double or you work with 1.0, it's your decision. I'm going to let the call of the GTK label set excellent. So basically this is the way how you work with this widget by setting its colors and so on. If you really need it, I don't know, I don't think, because we have CSS, and you should work with CSS. But if you insist, or you think that maybe you will like to work with this widget, you have it, is there work with it. Anyway, what do you think it happens if, let me remove all this story and then I'm done with it. Sorry guys, I don't want to be too much I don't want to create too much stress here. What do you think happens if you say GTK widget widget button? Let us create a button, GTK button new from icon name, and I'm going to say phone, whatever you choose, and GTK icon size menu. Now because we have the button, what do you think happens if you call the function and use it instead of your set, instead of your widget? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think it's bad? GTK expander, and of course our button. What do you think happens now? Let's see. Me, I already know nothing's happened because it needs a widget. Just the name is the name. Whoa! Yes, as you can see, we have a button instead of a label. You click the button and work both as well. So don't be scared. Of course, looks like creepy, but who knows? I don't know which kind of widget you were going to use in the future, where you think that you want to apply to your expander. Just do it. Don't be afraid. It doesn't really expect a label, but the reason why the label widget is there, because it is quite clear, isn't it? You need a label because maybe you need to create a new format. I'm not sure how I can better explain. Anyway, don't be afraid and work with them as well. But like I said, we have CSS, so for me, leave it alone and use GTK expander new with text, or GTK expander new with mnemonic, and work with CSS. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.